Certaines choses sont forgées par les forces de la nature, alors que d'autres sont forgées pour...
Super. Ha ne diyorsun? Salam salam. Bayramımızı tebrik ediyoruz. Maraklısın. Bırak her yer. Tutuyor tarzı kumur ha. Nuş olsa alıcı. Bak şimdi ne olur alıcı. İnançı. Hadi katıl bu. O da mı kanavaya kara o da bizi para koydu. Sağ ol seni. Hadi Allah bu sultanım oldu. Sağ ol nasıl olsun. Süper.
Un fin observateur de l'Amérique latine où il a travaillé pendant plusieurs années, s'est rendu aussi, Gilles, à Cuba à plusieurs reprises pour le travail. Donc, Gilles, personnellement, je pensais jamais voir ça, le Cuba quand même, qui rationne maintenant plus de kérosène pour alimenter les avions qui amènent les touristes. Gilles, c'est une situation inédite.
Ben, il faut comprendre, Paul, on avait parlé ensemble suite à la capture de Maduro au Venezuela. On l'avait même partagé en disant il faut surveiller Cuba et c'est pas une question d'années, ça sera une question de semaines. Alors on voit qu'est-ce qui se passe actuellement. Alors, il ne faut jamais oublier, M. Larocque, que le tourisme, c'est le grand générateur de devises pour Cuba depuis 67 ans, depuis la Révolution. Alors même Fidel Castro me l'avait partagé à une rencontre que j'ai eue avec lui en 2001. Alors, et d'ailleurs, les Québécois étaient probablement constituaient la meilleure source de ces devises depuis la Révolution, compte tenu des hivers québécois. Il ne faut jamais oublier que les Québécois, les Canadiens ont été les plus importants groupes de touristes à fréquenter l'île parmi ces années-là. Alors,
ça veut dire que Gilles, l'impact là, du fait là. Air Transat maintient ses vols pour le moment. Air Canada en a annulé quelques-uns, WestJet aussi, mais l'impact est considérable. Là, en ce moment, on me dit qu'on ferme des hôtels, et on regroupe les touristes à un endroit plutôt qu'à 3-4 différents, mais c'est vraiment une situation de crise.
Moi, M. Larocque, depuis quelques semaines, là, depuis 2-3 semaines, on voit dans les journaux latino-américains et même dans les journaux importants aux États-Unis qu'il y a des tractations à haut niveau entre le gouvernement américain et les représentants du régime cubain. On parle entre autres que le fils de Raúl Castro, le général Alejandro Castro, qui est vu peut-être d'ailleurs pour prendre la tête du pays. Il s'est rendu à Mexico, des rencontres avec les gens de la CIA, des représentants du gouvernement des affaires étrangères américaines. Donc, c'est du sérieux. Et moi, je pense, M. Larocque, qu'on va assister, parce que là, c'est sûr là qu'il y a une crise humanitaire qui est annoncée. Là. Alors, les Américains peuvent être aux prises avec cette crise humanitaire parce que c'est tellement près de la Floride qu'on ne voudrait pas assister encore à la répétition des Balseros. Alors, les gens qui se sont enfuis de Cuba sur des pneumatiques, sur des canaux de bricolage et tout ça. Donc, Là, on parle de questions, est-ce que les gens vont manger à leur faim dans les prochaines semaines? Là? Alors, la situation est très grave. Moi, j'espère qu'il va y avoir un dénouement. J'espère que le secrétaire aux Affaires étrangères, qui est lui-même un ex-cubain, M. Rubio, je suis convaincu qu'il suit la situation. On doit trouver un dénouement. Et moi, je pense qu'il faut se ramener, M. Larocque, à l'entente qu'avait fait Barack Obama avec Raúl Castro en 2014, qui a été signé en 2015. Et moi, j'avais été quelques mois après la signature où on avait revu la prospérité reprendre la croissance vers le haut. C'est-à-dire, il y a eu une entente pour permettre aux Américains d'aller visiter l'île. Alors, l'argent était rentré. Et d'ailleurs, ces 2 années-là, les Américains avaient surpassé les Canadiens en termes d'achalandage. Donc, ça serait le moyen de repartir la machine touristique qui génère des devises pour être en mesure d'éviter une catastrophe.
Et en même temps, Gilles, ce sont les Américains, c'est l'administration Trump là, qui étrangle, qui étouffe Cuba en ce moment en coupant le Venezuela. Alors, qu'est-ce que cherchent exactement les Américains à renverser le régime? On ne sait pas trop quoi, mais on note pas de mouvement populaire pour l'instant, en tout cas dans les rues de la part de la population.
Il ne faut jamais oublier que le régime qui est en place à Cuba, il y a une force militaire bien plus importante qu'au Venezuela. D'ailleurs, les Cubains prêtaient assistance aux Vénézuéliens. Donc, si on ne veut pas que ça vire en guerre civile, ça dégénère en guerre civile, il faut y aller avec doigté. Et moi, je pense que la doigté, c'est qu'on trouve peut-être un dirigeant qui aura l'accord de Washington pour être en mesure d'aller vers une transition qui peut prendre un certain temps. Et là, ben, on est dans les spéculations les plus pures.
En terminant, Gilles, bon, bien des gens ici, outre le fait de personne ne veut se retrouver dans le pétrin, et c'est bien normal, au cours des prochaines semaines, des prochains mois, mais bien des gens qui aiment beaucoup Cuba, le peuple cubain. Je pose la question, moralement, qu'est-ce que je fais? Est-ce que j'y vais? Parce que évidemment, c'est de l'oxygène dans l'économie, puis ça aide les gens là-bas, mais en même temps, ça contribue peut-être à maintenir un régime oppressif au pouvoir. C'est une question que bien des Québécois se posent.
Si on avait beaucoup de temps pour expliquer les relations qu'on a tissées au fil des ans, qui ne sont pas juste des relations au niveau touristique, moi, c'est pour ça, je pense, une chose qui est certaine, le Canada devrait s'en mêler. Le Canada a été un partenaire important sur Cuba, donc qui pourrait servir de trait d'union entre le régime et entre les Américains pour être en mesure d'apaiser et de trouver des solutions qui peuvent dénouer l'impasse, parce que on voit encore une fois que la question énergétique est au cœur de cette catastrophe-là. C'était le déclencheur. Les Cubains avaient malheureusement bricolé une dépendance énergétique avec le Venezuela, donc on voit qu'est-ce que ça peut représenter avec ce qui s'est passé. Donc moi, je pense que ceux qui peuvent y aller puis qui ont une certaine audace, de toute façon, c'est un pays qui est quand même sécuritaire, il faut le faire, mais là, ça va devenir très, très difficile. Moi, je pense que d'ici quelques semaines, là, ça va être très difficile d'aller à Cuba.
Gilles Barry, il parle en direct d'Amérique latine. Merci, Gilles, toujours un plaisir. On suit ça.
For the support, because we've grown as a family. The amazing thing about it is, wherever you come from, whatever your background is, this is bringing us together. I really do think this is bringing us together. Power of prayer. True crime brings all people together from all walks of life. And one thing I've noticed, there's just been so many of you from everywhere across the globe. This is a global case. Thank you. Coffee, D-Rod. Hey, D-Rod, nice to see you, D-Rod. Darlene Dixon. Thank you, Darlene Dixon. The Call Me LILO 4. Thank you. So, y'all are great. Thank you. Get yourself juice, says is rub trauma. Thank you. I have my glasses on this morning. I don't have my glasses. So here, I'll show you a picture. I took the scene last night at Tommaso's home. Dude, they literally have cameras planted on his house. I think that's crazy, but this was the scene. I took a drive past this morning. It is raining out here a little bit. Well, it's drizzling. This was the scene outside his house this morning. That is insane, man. Literally in front of his house, they got a rack of cameras, and it's just lights, and they're just zooming in on his house, illuminating his entire house. Now they got tents out there and everything like that. So it looks like the media here is in the long haul. But again, why would the media do this to a possible victim? Or, Annie and because Savannah is supporting Annie, right? Annie side by side with Savannah. Savannah, Annie side by side. Thank you, Britt. Thank you, Britt. Thank you, Marilyn. Marilyn, thank you. Marilyn, Britt. Marilyn 1094. But they have this going on. So his whole entire, but there's not as much media as there here at Nancy's home. But they got the tents and all that crazy stuff out there, and lights flashing on his house, and just like non-stop lights. Now, no one's there. They might be doing it because he's not there, but imagine if they were there, they'd probably have the lights. Well, I don't even know if that's even legal to do, but they're out there. Nope. And one thing I've seen, like we have here with the sheriff out here, one thing I've seen out there is no sheriffs. I've seen none perched out there. None. So it's not even like the sheriffs even want to go out there and even care or anything like that. So in the meantime, I'm just kind of reading comments. Guys, scroll, share what you have to say. Share what you have to say. I think this is a good day for us as far as streaming wise, because we'll have the it won't be as hot. That sun goes out. Now it might be a little cold. It feels a little cold out here. I'm wearing actually sweats today. Red sweatpants, not red shorts, red sweatpants. I got the sweatpants on. Oh my God, so many people are contributing. I haven't seen all of them. Path Waters, D Logs 859. Thank you. Janine Shamantle 9476. Thank you. Very grateful for you too. Pat Waters and Janine Shamantle. I'm squinting with my eyes. Yeah, so, what we're going to do, I think, at this stage, until we get some, there might be some lulls here and everything like that. Just wondering if the rain will be heavy. My Crazy Cats 3. I looked at radar here. We're going to have something come through here. I'll show it to you. Tucson weather radar. We're going to have something come through here maybe in the next hour, and then once it clears up, it's just going to kind of be a cloudy day here. But I'll just show you as an example. It pretty much really passed. But here it is. I don't know if you can see it though. But it's kind of like blah. Like these like rain showers. Looks like it's more going to pass. You see Tucson. It's a little backwards because of the mirroring. But it does appear like some rain might be coming through. And then boom. Maybe another rush. Or maybe not. It might skip away. So we'll see. I do have an umbrella. If it rains for a little bit, we might just go in the car for a little bit. I'm not sophisticated as these people here with the tents. These guys are all in. They got tents and umbrellas, but these are the media here that have their like little stations, and they're perched down here. So kind of like. like a behind the scenes. See what I mean? Your camera equipment, so it doesn't get wet. It's crazy though, man. Look how much media is out here, like, just camped in front of Nancy's home. Anything new? Just basically is the reports. The main thing is I think a controversy is brewing between the sheriff's office and the FBI. I think the sheriff's going to have to address. He's denying those allegations, by the way. But man, it's pretty bombshell stuff when you find a glove and then you just don't hand it over to the FBI and you take it to your own. There's reports that there's some ego going on with the sheriff. Like the sheriff, I'm gonna go over here because it's light over here. The sheriff is like, he doesn't want to cooperate with the FBI in a sense of the sheriff wants to solve this and he wants to take the full credit for solving. That's what it seems like. So he's doing things like behind the FBI's back. And, you know, with the glove aspect, here's the thing about it. Evidentiary things for a Fed case, the Feds need that glove. They need that glove that was found inside the home that was the sheriff sent off, because the FBI has to do their own analysis. And even if, you know, the guy gets charged in court and everything like that, it's going to have to come through the FBI's investigative ways, how they get and analyze the glove and everything like that. It's just a mess. Like in that aspect, they need it back. But you know, we know that the FBI came here days after the fact, and you know, I'll give you some examples. Hold on, I'll give you some examples of how the media puts it out. It's still early for me, but I think it's going to be a big problem, and Nanos is going to have to address that, or Nanos is going to have to resign, or he might get recalled. I don't know how the process works, but Nanos hadn't given out a press conference in over a week. It's been over a week now since he's given a press conference. A mysterious glove found inside the home. But one thing I found about the mysterious glove is if a mysterious glove was found inside the home and they found 2 gloves down at the side of the road on Campbell, I only seen 1. The reports were 2 gloves. That makes 3 gloves. So does that mean there's more people involved or whatnot? The source describes this entire debacle between the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office as insane. Goes on to say, Nancy was missing the night of the 31st into 2/1. FBI got involved late on 2/2 after the agency reached out to them, and it was a limited to minimal role. The sheriff gave conflicting statements about this last week, but the last time he gave a news briefing on Guthrie's abduction, which remains unsolved, from day one when we contacted the FBI, they were that gracious to say, whatever you need, he said. Then, I didn't even have to ask. That's what's really amazing. I haven't had to call anyone. They called me. It's a mess. Now, I think there's some politics to this, because the way some of the people around here have been saying is the sheriff himself was investigated by the FBI, so he doesn't like the FBI because he's been investigated himself. Now, obviously, he hasn't been charged anything or indicted in the past, whatever like that. But the FBI investigated him in his department about handling cases. I think about the jails and things like that. So you know, there you go. There you go. So take it for what it is. You know, this whole case stinks. It stinks. In 2016, there was an article out that they're referencing. Nanos fires back at FBI for funding allegations. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos is firing back at the FBI for investigating the sheriff's department for overspending. And this was in 2016. This comes after an article published by the Arizona Daily Star says the department spent funds seized in drug investigations on cafe for employees at the sheriff's department headquarters. Am I upset at the FBI? Sheriff Nano says. Absolutely. They get by with saying no comment. Who does that in today's world? The sheriff said. Now he said this back in 2016. Go figure. Sheriff's not speaking about this case. No comment on his part. Nano says he just wants to get his employees a cheap, decent meal. To heck with his preliminary investigation. Why are you doing a preliminary investigation? Sheriff Nano said if the FBI does find anything, his department is willing to cooperate. So, that's some beef going back in 2016 when the FBI was investigating Sheriff Nanos' department. Sheriff Nano says a glove recovered from inside the home to a private lab. He sent it to a private lab in Florida rather than the FBI's lab in Quantico, Virginia. The feds will likely need to retest themselves, wasting time. Crazy. We'll also see what's going on here. We'll also former sheriff Mark Lamb, nearby county, starting to feel like this was not a kidnapping. It's more like a crime gone bad.
For this. Got a nose for this. What are you feeling happened here?
You know, initially, Jesse, I thought maybe this was 90+% of these deals involve somebody that's very familiar with the family, the residents, or family themselves, and that's just the way it has to. We look at it. We've got to put feelings aside and really look at things. Then I saw the video and I saw the pictures, and it started to feel a little bit less professional, a little bit more unplanned, and maybe that they went in there for another reason and things got a little out of hand or maybe went sideways. And it's starting to feel like this was not a kidnapping, as more it's looking more like a crime gone bad, and now they're trying to clean up the mess behind them and hopefully not get caught.
Got it.
More like a crime gone bad. Now they're trying to clean up the mess. That's coming from former Sheriff Lamb. Back for another day. Continuous coverage of Nancy Guthrie. JLR investigates on the scene, boots on the ground.
Funnels are out. The smartest brands today are using Loop Marketing, an ever-changing framework that keeps working.
Suspects described 5'9", 5'10", with an Ozark Trail hiker backpack. Many people said you could get that at Walmart. $100,000 reward. Gloves found outside the property, sent by the FBI for DNA testing. A glove found inside the home has taken to a private lab by the Sheriff Nanos to Florida. Here's the White House press secretary addressing reports of tension between the FBI and local authorities in the Nancy Guthrie case. For the FBI to take over the investigation, local authorities would have to hand it over.
If the friction indeed exists between the FBI and locals, is there anything the president could do to try to get the FBI in front, or is that just something out of his jurisdiction?
Well, look, the FBI, in order to take over the investigation, would, of course, need the local authorities to hand it over to them. And I spoke with Director Patel late last night, and he assured me the FBI has been on the ground. In fact, Director Patel himself was on the ground in Arizona this week, and that we are offering the full resources and weight of the federal government to help local authorities bringing this case to an end, to bring Nancy Guthrie home. President Trump immediately offered that when this case was first heard about, when this news broke, and our hearts break every day that this goes on. And again, the FBI is on the ground wanting to assist in any way that they can, and they have. You saw last night, Director Patel and the FBI released additional information and photo evidence. They have also upped the reward for anyone who comes forward with the suspect. And of course, they have the FBI tip line, which they are actively working to work through any credible tips that can lead to a closure in this horrific case. Caroline, I know that
I believe.
What do you think? I think we have a big bombshell firestorm going right now. Conflict between Nanos. We got the comment earlier. It was from said Nanos' Facebook page has turned off comments. Oh boy, we got a bus. Bus coming through. Bus coming through. Sheriff Nanos thrown under the bus. It's a metaphor. Breaking news, school bus. Breaking news. Yeah, we'll see what actually happens today. Welcome aboard, folks. As you know, we're kind of like the boots in the ground on the ear, on the ground with boots on the ground here for see what's going on outside Nancy Guthrie's home in real time. I do have a flashlight. We have to scour around. See if there's searches. But what is the chances now that Nancy will be found safe? Teresa, thank you. We're at day 13 now. She's alive. Where's the press conference? Like literally, where's the press conference? The press conference on all this. TMZ, this ego clash between the FBI and local sheriff is frustrating. Nancy Guthrie's life is on the line. Hope they sort it out ASAP for her family's sake. Hope they sort it out. Even if you only use drugs, you fund cartels, Roger Mex says. I don't know, some people now are thinking this might be a cartel hit, that the person did this. And then other people are thinking and saying that Sheriff Nanos is funded by the cartel. Like, he has ties to the cartel. And, you know, cartel gets free pass in Tucson area to do their thing. Mark, thank you. Is Sheriff Nanos compromised? All right, how about this? How about the question for the day? How about the first question in the morning? 1 yes, 2 no. Is Sheriff Nanos compromised by the cartel? Is he in with the cartel? 1 yes, 2 no. Is he in with the cartel? 1 no. 1 2 no. 2 no. 1 yes, 2 no. 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2. See, a lot of opinions. A lot of people feel. Maybe people just don't know and they're just putting a number in. Yes, no, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's what we got this morning. Whew. I got a can of Black Rifle coffee. Coffee. Yeah. So we're gonna kind of keep it here for a bit. Ellie and husband only in the current house a few months. Are they in the house for a few months? Teacher salary can't pay. They are being investigated by ICAC Crimes Against Children, and school scrubbed his profile from school website. So Julia Rose, 67, you're talking about Annie and Tommaso. They bought their home spring of last year. About a year ago, they bought their home. $650,000. She does like writing and jewelry. He's a teacher. They originally had a home that was half its value. They moved up. What do you think? There's a woman that came out here the other day who claims that she heard from her friend that the entire school was rallying behind Tommaso. However, there's no indication that Tommaso was at school at all. He's on paid leave, administrative leave. Where is Tommaso? She also went on to say that all the parents of the school, now I think she's kind of over-exaggerating everything. She said all the parents of the school are supporting Tommaso. I'm not so sure about that. Annie and Tommaso were also victims of this case by the wackadoodle who, by the way, that guy that sent the demand, the Bitcoin demand that got arrested in Los Angeles, the Kalala guy, he was in court in Tucson. If I knew he was down there, I would have called him. The media caught him coming out, but they were all like, nobody really like asking questions to his face. Crazy. What's going on here? Somebody came out here. He's doing something by the mailbox. Starting to get light out here. Man, this is going to be a nice, refreshing day. I mean, it's a bad situation, but at least for us, it's going to be much cooler. This is the high today, 60.
Les 4 étapes du règlement d'un sinistre auto. Étape 2. Faire la réclamation. À la suite d'un accident, il est important de contacter votre assureur ou votre courtier le plus tôt possible. Un expert en sinistre vérifie la couverture de votre contrat, établit la responsabilité dans l'accident et vous indique la marche à suivre. Visitez notre site web pour connaître tous les détails entourant le règlement d'un sinistre.
Festool Power Tools are built better to help you build better. Built with professional-grade power, maximum precision, and durability you can count on. It's time to demand better. Festool. Built better to build better.
Drizzling on here a little bit. There's all these flowers that have grown. Flowers. Candle flowers. More flowers. So the whole mailbox filled with flowers. Ribbons in the yard. Ribbons. Here we are. we are, we're back. Keep it here for a minute. I'm gonna grab my coffee. I'll be right back. Good morning, folks. I'm still out here. Hey, I got a new car. Switched the car. So we went from a Jeep to
Ouais, ben oui, ben Vanderbilt, classe vidéo.
Restez connectés avec l'Elantra de Hyundai. Les services BlueLink sans frais.
Today's my birthday, and it has been the hardest year of my life, and I wanted to share something that I learned with y'all. When I was younger, I used to define myself as an actor, right? Which was never really all that fulfilling. And then I became a husband, and that was much better. And then I became a father, and that was the ultimate. I could define myself then as a loving, capable, strong, supportive husband, father, provider, steward of the land that we're so lucky to live on. And for a long time, that felt like a really good definition to the question, you know, who am I? What am I? And then this year, I had to look my own mortality in the eye. I had to come nose to nose with death. And all of those definitions that I cared so deeply about were stripped from me. I was away for treatment, so I could no longer be a husband that was helpful to my wife. I could no longer be a father who could pick up his kids and put them to bed and be there for them. I could not be a provider because I wasn't working. I couldn't even be a steward of the land because at times I was too weak to prune all the trees during the window that you're supposed to prune them. And so I was faced with the question, if I am just a too skinny, weak guy alone in an apartment with cancer, what am I? And I meditated and the answer came through. I am worthy of God's love. Simply because I exist. And if I'm worthy of God's love, shouldn't I also be worthy of my own? And the same is true for you. And as I move through this healing portal toward recovery, I wanted to share that with you because I think that revelation that came to me was due in no small part to all the prayers and the love that have been directed toward me. So I offer that to you, however it sits in your consciousness, however it resonates, run with it. And if the word God trips you up, I certainly don't know. I can't claim to know what God is or explain God. My efforts to connect to God are an ongoing process that is a constant unfolding mystery to me. But if it's a trigger, it feels too religious, you can take the word God out and your mantra can simply be, I am worthy of love. Because you are. Thank you for the love and prayers, everyone. Have a blessed day.
What do you do when you're staring down a stage 3 diagnosis?